Hello buddy, it's Bendominator and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm finally going to be giving my full review on Chapter 3, Season 4, which we now know is the final season of Chapter 3, that being Paradise. So before we get into my review, if you guys do end up enjoying the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you are brand new because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supported creator code, Bendominator, in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so Season 4, this one's kind of a weird one for me, not gonna lie. I went into the season really excited and very optimistic, and honestly, for a lot of it, I actually really enjoyed it. But as I've actually been playing it more and more, and as the season's gone on over the last few weeks, I've kind of started to not like this season really at all. There's things I enjoy about it, which I'll start with, but I do have a lot of negatives with this one, unfortunately. So yeah, let's start off with the positives. First off, I think the brand new Chrome weapons are really fun. Both of them are great. Both the Evo Chrome AR and the Evo Chrome shotgun are really fun to use. I have started to not like them as much over time, but the shotgun still remains to be one of my favorite weapons in the current loot pool, and the gimmick of being able to level them up by just using them is really cool. In terms of map changes, I really like Cloudy Condos. I think Cloudy Condos is one of the coolest POIs we've ever seen. I might be a bit biased towards it just because it reminds me a lot of Chapter 2 Season 3, kind of the flooded POIs, but I just really like Cloudy Condos. It switched up Condo Canyon's layout, while also keeping a lot of the same buildings that I really enjoy from Condo. And yeah, Cloudy Condos is probably currently my favorite spot on this map right now, which isn't really saying much, which we'll get into later. I also think Grim Gables was a good addition, even if it is pretty small. It definitely feels more like a landmark, but I still think that it was good to see. And overall, the flow of new content and new items has been pretty solid, as it has been for pretty much every season during Chapter 3, so that's always nice to appreciate. Fortnite has stepped it up since Chapter 2 when it comes to giving us consistent updates. We saw the release of the goo gun, we saw the release of the new supply drop item where you can call it a supply drop. I think that's really cool. We just recently got the Rocket League collab, and yeah, I really just hope Fortnite keeps up this pace of updates for Chapter 4, because a lot of seasons in Chapter 2 felt really dry, and for me personally, I feel like every single Chapter 3 season has had a really good flow of updates, and I feel like we haven't had really an update drought in a long time, so that's really good to see. I also feel like the general loot pool this season was a pretty big improvement when compared to previous Chapter 3 seasons in terms of the weapons. Items, not so much. I feel like the item pool wasn't as good this season as it was last season, but the weapon pool has definitely stepped up, especially in the shotgun category. The lever action and the Evo Chrome are pretty fun to use. Glad we kept the hammer AR. I still don't understand why the Ranger AR is in the game. I wish we just had the standard one. And thank goodness that they buffed the snipers. Like, they are back to being really fun. You can one-shot headshot again, and I'm just extremely happy about that. Probably one of the best changes to come from this season. So yeah, loot pool-wise, I think this was an improvement. Well, I still don't think it's amazing. I think for Chapter 3 standards, it was pretty good, but I definitely hope that Chapter 4 goes back to using a bunch of the OG weapons that I feel like should normally be in rotation. Keys were also a great addition. I really like the key vaults, and the key chests were also pretty cool, and I hope keys are a feature that stays in the next season. Definitely a much better alternative to gold, in my opinion. The new chrome mechanics were pretty cool, being able to phase through chrome walls and stuff, and being able to use the chrome splash to turn into a chrome blob. I think that was all kind of fun, though it's that kind of stuff that feels a bit gimmicky in the first few weeks of the season, and then no one really ever uses it. Like, I don't see chrome splash being used that much anymore, and I don't really think it added as much to the game as I was hoping it would. So yeah, all these positives gave me a pretty good first impression when playing this season, but as time has gone on, I feel like I've started to enjoy the season less and less, and this is probably my least played season since maybe Chapter 1 Season 9. The only reason I have Tier 100 this season is because the XP is just extremely broken. If it weren't for that, I don't even know if I'd have Tier 100 by this point. But anyways, let's talk about the negatives. First off, the Battle Pass. It's not a big deal, it's just cosmetics, but this is probably the worst Battle Pass I think we've ever seen. Like, I can't name a single Battle Pass that I like less than this one. There's some pretty nice skins in there. I think Spider-Gwen's cool. I think it would have been cooler to see Miles Morales personally. Twine is interesting. Meow Skulls is kind of funny, but I feel like overall it's just not great. And it's part of the reason I didn't really play the season much, because I feel like when there's a Battle Pass that I don't really enjoy, it doesn't make me feel motivated to grind out the season, because I don't feel motivated to get the cosmetics. Because to be honest, I don't really enjoy any of the cosmetics. And I'm going to make a Battle Pass ranking video very soon, and you'll kind of get my more in-depth thoughts on the skins there. But yeah, overall was not a fan of this Battle Pass, which kind of caused me to not really want to play as much. Big complaint number 2 is the theme. I made a whole video on this, but pretty much I just really don't like the theme. I think Epic is definitely starting to run out of theme ideas, and I feel like pulling out this was just kind of strange. Like, there were cool ideas there, but I feel like putting a reflective silver texture over everything just kind of made made a lot of the map look really ugly and made me just not really enjoy the theme very much. Not to mention it feels extremely repetitive because even though they went out of their way to try and find something unique, it still kind of feels like a repeat of Chapter 2 Season 8. I don't know, I just really don't like the Chrome stuff. I commend them for going out of their way to find something new, but I feel like we've gotten to the point where Fortnite's trying so hard to make a unique season theme that they just end up making something completely weird and nonsensical. And we kind of saw that a little bit with last season's theme, like Vibin', like they're getting really weird with the themes, and while some of them can be creative, it just feels kind of strange. A lot of them don't really feel fully fleshed out. And this one definitely just does not feel very coherent. It doesn't feel even that unique compared to past seasons' themes, and it really just feels like they slapped a silver reflective texture over a bunch of stuff and called it a day. And while I think there was some potential within it, especially for some Halloween themed stuff, they didn't really go too far with it. We had an interesting Fortnitemares event that kind of took the Chrome in some interesting new directions with the visuals and stuff, but I really think they could have done more with it. Complaint number 3, the map. I feel like this season single-handedly has destroyed this map for me. Every single one of the POIs that I loved and enjoyed have now been tarnished and ruined by the Chrome or by having random floating buildings. These Chrome map changes for me have made me go from loving this map to kind of hating it, because at this point there's only 2 locations on this map that I actually enjoy landing at, and that's Chonkers Speedway and Cloudy Condos. And speaking of Cloudy Condos, it shows that these Chrome POIs with the floating buildings and stuff can actually work really well, but they just didn't really put the effort into making the rest of the floating POIs as good as Cloudy. And in fact, I feel like every single Chrome POI is a downgrade from its original version, especially because I just think the Chrome looks extremely ugly, like I said before. Like visually, to me, the Chrome is just not appealing, and it just ends up making all these POIs worse. So yeah, overall, this map took a major hit this season in my opinion. And I understand that this is supposed to be the last season of the chapter, so obviously they're gonna destroy a bunch of stuff, but I still don't think that makes for a fun season gameplay-wise. I don't think that makes for a fun map. And even if it makes sense within the lore, I don't think it's fun. I don't think covering existing POIs in a reflective silver texture and making random buildings float makes for good map changes. But hey, maybe that's just me. And then my final major complaint with the season is the performance. Now this one's a huge case of your mileage may vary, but for me, this season has caused my performance when playing Fortnite to take a major hit. Like, I literally thought I needed to upgrade my PC during this season because the performance got so much worse when I try to play BR now. And I think it's because of all the reflective textures with the Chrome and stuff. Like, I feel like that has to be the problem because I've never had performance this bad when playing Fortnite. Is it terrible or unplayable? Definitely not, but I shouldn't have to be always playing on the lowest settings to even get a decent frame rate when playing BR. And this isn't even a problem on PC. I went to play on Switch a couple of weeks ago and it is terrible. I don't usually play on Switch, so I don't know how it's normally supposed to be, but it seems quite a bit worse than what I remember. It shouldn't be taking as long as it does to load into the map, and I shouldn't have to be looking at unrendered spawn island when I load in, as well as an unrendered version of the map. I get that the Switch is less powerful, but I feel like they really have not tried to optimize this season very well, not only for PC, but for other consoles such as the Switch. Again, mileage may vary. I know not everyone's having performance issues with this season, but I do know it's not only me, as I've talked to friends and even people in my Discord server who have said they have experienced similar issues, though I've also talked to people who said they haven't had any issues at all. So again, it seems to be a bit random for everyone, but I have noticed specifically that my performance when playing BR has massively decreased within the season, and when looking at other consoles like Switch, it's far worse than what it actually should be. So I hope this is something that gets addressed for Chapter 4, and I hope it's just a problem with the fact that this season has all these reflective textures that may be causing this problem, and we won't have to deal with this in the next season. But yeah, it's just another factor that just made it harder for me to enjoy this season. But overall, do I think that this is a terrible season of Fortnite? Well, no, not really. I think it's fine enough, but it is definitely my least favorite of Chapter 3 by far. I just feel like it kind of ruined this map for me. The performance hasn't been great, I have not enjoyed the theme, and the battle pass has not made me want to actually grind out the season. They introduced a lot of features that are really cool and I hope get implemented in the future seasons, like keys. The sniper buff was great, the loot pool was good enough for Chapter 3, but overall I think it could use improvement, and overall I think the season was pretty fun, and it was a decent way to end off Chapter 3, though I feel like it was definitely its low point. And I hope they iron out the pros and cons of Chapter 2 and 3 to make Chapter 4 amazing. Because while I feel like Chapter 3 fixed a ton of problems from Chapter 2, it also created some brand new ones that I hope Chapter 4 addresses. But I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video. when I give my review on Chapter 3 as a whole. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, be sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, because I make videos like this all the time, and using my supporter creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad definitely helps out a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.